Hi everyone, it's Lydia aka Thoroughly Rigid, back out again with another video. Okay, I wanted to talk about seeing clearly. Usually we have a destination or goal in mind and we know exactly what we desire, what we want, okay? If we don't deny what we truly want. And it's important, it's so important to see clearly along the way, along the journey. And a lot of the journey to getting to the destination, to reaching that goal, is figuring out how to align with it, how to stay aligned with it energetically. Any perspective or mindset shifts or changes that we need to adapt and adopt. And a lot of the times you can get anxiety along the way at certain points. And I feel like anxiety when reaching a goal and reaching a destination is so normalized, instead of emphasizing the fact that through anxiety, through stress, through overthinking, the point is to gain clarity. Every feeling, every emotion, every thought is trying to tell you something. When anxiety comes up, anxiety is tied to anticipation. You're trying to anticipate something going wrong along the journey. But if you have clarity, anxiety ceases to exist. The point of that anxiety is to tell you that you're not seeing something clearly, not to tell you that there's something to worry about. Metaphorically, you're walking in the darkness. You don't know where you're going. You're going to be riddled with anxiety because you're not going to know, oh, is there an obstacle? What if something happens in the dark and I can't see it? I can't anticipate it. I don't know what obstacles are in my way. Now, when you reach that point of anxiety, it's important to still yourself and recognize, hey, I'm anxious because I can't see anything right now because I'm walking in the dark. And what do we do when it's dark? We turn on a light. You may be called to find a light. You may be led towards a light switch. Or you may need to recognize that, hey, the light is within me. I'm the light. Let me shine my light. Okay, let me turn the light on so I can see clearly. A fear that may come up when you realize that you're walking in the dark and you need to turn on the light. Another fear is, what am I going to see when I turn the light on? You may be afraid of what you see. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. They don't want to see. They may not admit it to themselves, but a lot of people actually don't want to see. At that point, you're choosing anxiety. You're choosing to remain anxious about something that may or may not be there, out of fear of what is actually there, out of fear of what you may see in the light. Most people are not afraid of the dark. Most people are afraid of what may be in the dark, may be lurking. But if you turn on the light, you can see everything. You may not always like what you see, excuse me, Mom, but at least you know what you're dealing with at that point. And trust and know that anything you see, when you illuminate the darkness, you can handle. All obstacles placed in your path, all challenges you may face in this lifetime, you can handle, you can overcome. There is not one obstacle or challenge that is placed in your path, your divine path, that you cannot handle. But you have to get to a place of trusting yourself, and trust that this obstacle can be overcome, that this challenge can be conquered, that this test can be passed with flying colors at that. That's where your trust is tested. And it will be tested. And it doesn't have to be harsh. It doesn't have to be this huge thing. It doesn't have to be heavy. Choice. That's what choice. Okay? You have a choice. Do you want it to be heavy, or do you want to, that's a whole other thing. Do you want to let go and let it be lighter through clarity? because heaviness is also an illusion. It's that illusion that you have to carry all of this because you're going through this, because you're facing a challenge. It has to be difficult because it's a challenge. And yeah, it's going to be challenging, but every challenge is meant to be overcome. Every problem is meant to be solved. Every obstacle is meant to be maneuvered around or over or removed. Because it can. Because it can be. Again, the part where most people get stuck is they figure out they need to turn on the light and then they don't. Ask yourself this: would you rather be walking in the darkness, wandering, not knowing how to get where you need to go? You know exactly where you need to go, but how are you going to get there? You may stumble and eventually get there, but ask yourself, how do I want this journey to this destination to go? Okay, you already figured out the destination. You figured it out. Okay, I want to go over there. Now, how do you want to get there? And again, it goes back to the notion, the journey is just as important as the destination. It's just as important. And there are choices to be made. Just because you know where you're going doesn't mean everything is all said and done for. Now you get to choose how you want the journey to go. How do you want the journey to go? Do you want to be wandering aimlessly in the darkness, confused, anxious about what may or may not be lurking amongst you? Or do you want to turn on the light, be the light, or find the light switch and see clearly? At that point, you have to have the courage to face whatever is illuminated once you turn that light on. And then you have to trust yourself. Trust in the knowing that you can overcome it. You have the courage to be like, okay, I can face it, I can handle it. Not even knowing, before even knowing what it is, have the courage. The courage to face it. And then once all obstacles are illuminated and they're right in front of you, you can see your path clearly, you can move forward. Because what would you rather be fearful and anxious of something that may or may not be there? Or would you rather see all the obstacles so you can clearly navigate your path? Which one? Which one do you want? I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. I mean, come on now. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Well, voila. This is the final look. Yeah. Do you want to wander aimlessly in the darkness, not knowing what is around you, not knowing how to get to where you're going? Or would you rather illuminate the path in your surroundings, see all obstacles in your way, and then overcome them accordingly? Okay, it's up to you. The choice is up to you. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment down below whatever you want to say down there. Subscribe for more. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.